Welcome back to Presenter Media. My name is Kara. I will be following up on the tutorial you just watched on writing a check. This tutorial will be how to animate the check. Now, as you can see in the background, we do have the check coming in, and we have each item of text typing in as if it was on a typewriter, and then we have the signature line coming in on a fade, which gives it the impression of actually being signed. We have the check that we were working in earlier, and I have already started the process of adding an animation. The first step is to click on a text box and the animation tab at the top of your screen. The next step is to click on your animation pane on the far right hand side. Now in our case we already have an animation applied. We'll go ahead and delete that. Make sure you have that text box selected, and then in this case we're going to use the appear effect. Once you have this set, click the drop down arrow on the far right hand side of your animation pane. Drag it down to start with previous, and then go into your effect options. Under your effect options you'll see your enhancements. The important one in this case is how to animate text. We want it to animate by letter, which will be able to give the impression of it being typed. The next thing to take into account is the delay between letters. A half a second delay may not seem slow, but when you think about how fast a normal person types, this is actually not too far above turtle pace. So we'll go ahead and move it down to 1/10 of a second, and when you click OK you can see how it gets typed in. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the process for the remaining text boxes. You can see as you start learning how to do this, it's actually very straightforward, and it's a very simple process of simply repeating it. For the dollar amount, we're going to go ahead and use a slightly longer delay since it is a shorter area. This will also be able to make it appear as though there is something that does stand out from the rest. And now all of these items are set to play at the same time, so if you hit play you'll notice that they all come in at the exact same moment. If you would like this to actually play separately, the easiest step is to use start after previous, and if you don't have any sort of delay responding, and if you don't have any sort of delay set up, it will play back to back in a very straightforward manner, and you can see it appearing here on the background. Alright, now finally we'll go ahead and set a fade effect on our signature. Again, we're going to go in, tell it to start after the previous because we want the signature to come in after all the rest of the text. And for our effect options, again we want to display it by letter. And notice now the delay is set as a percentage instead of a time. I'm going to go ahead and increase the time percentage to a 20% instead of 10. And notice how it still comes in relatively quickly. So let's go ahead and bump it up to a 25% delay between letters. Now to preview what we've just done, you can do one of two things. You can play your slideshow from this particular slide, or you can simply click on the preview because all of these are considered animations. Notice how we have each item coming in on its own. Followed by the signature. The final step will be adding a logo to the upper left corner of this particular item. So let's go ahead and just grab a text box. I'll be removing the animation that's set up on it. Type in the name of your company. Don't worry about the font size right now. We'll go ahead and shrink that down here. We'll shrink it small enough so it looks like it fits on the check, but not so small that it cannot be read. And now you still have room in the upper left corner for your logo. We'll just go ahead and insert a clip art image to indicate a logo. Shrink that down, get it moved into position. Alright, and now we have our check as though it would actually appear in the slideshow. And hopefully for your case, it will appear in the exact same setup as if you were actually writing it out yourself. My name is Kara. Thanks for watching another Presenter Media tutorial.